Yo, yo, live right now. Try borrow that ain't rap. Hold on. You live right now? Alright. Try borrow that ain't rap. Doing another horror review. I'm gonna be doing a couple of these for the month, Halloween month, for the month of October and all that. Doing tonight a very underappreciated film that I think deserves more recognition from John Carpenter. You know John Carpenter, the famous director. He did Halloween, all the Halloween sequels, Escape from LA, Escape from New York, The Thing. Did the vampire film back in I think it was 97, 98. James Woods, another underrated film. But one of my favorites from John Carpenter has always been this movie right here, Fog. This is the 2002 edition, one of the first DVDs I ever bought from Suncoast, released in 1980. The original Fog, not the remake from '05. That was crap. But yeah, this is a always loved this film. Watched it back when I was a teenager. When it used to come on cable on TBS late at night or TNT. Fell in love with it, and you know, it's about first of all, it's starring Jamie Lee Curtis. Everybody knows her from Halloween, Blue Steel, so many movies she's done over the years. Um, Adrienne Barbeau, I was I think I was Carpenter's girlfriend at the time. She plays what's her name in the film? I forgot her name in the film. She plays Stevie Wayne. Jamie Lee plays Elizabeth Soley. We got Tom Atkins. He plays Nick Castle, and Hal Holbrook plays Father Malone in the film. And Jamie Lee's mother is also in the film. She plays Kathy Williams, Janet Leigh. She was also in I think The Birds, Alfred Hitchcock film back in the day. So yeah, and stories about this town called Antonio Bay, where I believe it was set in Long Island, but it was filmed in California actually. And there's a curse on the town because back in like 1879, 1880, you know, the six founders of Antonio Bay they made a deal with these pirates about the pirates wanted they wanted to settle and start you know their what's the word I'm looking for? They wanted to start some land or establish a colony, actually establish a leper colony in Antonio Bay town. And the one of the pirates, the leader of the pirates, you know, um, Blake, he was wealthy, he had leprosy, he was very sick, and he they made a deal with the six founders of Antonio Bay, and the six founders turned on them and murdered them by sinking their ship, took the gold from them, and that's how they started. They used the gold to build Antonio Bay and the church in Antonio Bay. And then they hid the gold, made a cross out of the gold, hid it in the church with the a journal that the grandfather of Father Malone had wrote in his journal about everything, hid it in the church. won't let the go. Then, 100 years go by. There's a curse on the town. They're celebrating the 100th year anniversary for Antonio Bay, and then strange shit start to happen. Dogs start to bark. You got people's furniture being moved by themselves. You know, the gas pump at the gas station moves by itself, and you know, there's a dude at a grocery store cleaning up late at night, and then he starts seeing like bottles being thrown across the floor by themselves. Mirrors are start to shake and all that. The clocks are going off. All kind of crazy shit going on. You know, so the people in the town they getting prepared for this 100th year anniversary, not knowing what's about to happen. It just so happens that Blake and his pirate crew, they come back to Antonio Bay for their gold, and in doing so, being that they got murdered by the six co-founders of Antonio Bay, they decide to come back and kill six people. Six must die. So they come back, through a fog at 12 o'clock on 12th to 1 is like the witching hour. They come back and wreak havoc on Antonio Bay and go after people. The little boy Andy that plays Stevie's son. He finds a piece of driftwood on the beach of Antonio Bay, and it says Dane on it. The ship, Blake's ship, pirate ship, was called Elizabeth Dane, and goes back and takes it to his mom. His mom is a DJ for a radio station in Antonio Bay. She playing different tunes and giving weather updates and all that good stuff. And she takes the driftwood from him, and brings it back to the radio station, and she turns her back, looking out the window, and then the radio is being played, and then the driftwood start to like come to life almost. Kind of like this red this start this the radio starts to play like drag. Like when you play like a cassette player, and the sound starts to drag and gets muffled, and the driftwood starts to suddenly have water on it, and like it just like the water just hits the radio, and then you see fire ignite and red flames, and then you hear like a devilish voice. She had to put that out, and she realized like, yo, like this driftwood is not normal. There's something going on with the driftwood. It's haunting, and this little haunting shit like that in the movie is what made this movie um, great to me. Like, it's the little subtle haunting things. You know, when Jamie Lee Curtis character Elizabeth, she's a hitchhiker. She gets picked up by Nick in his pickup truck, and then you know back then I guess it was easy to hook up with people. They were like, you know, picked her up off the street, off the road, and they hook up, and while he's driving, there's like a wind that goes by his pickup truck, and he breaks the window, and he stops the truck, and he looks at her like, what the hell was that? You know what I mean? And just little subtle haunting shit like that was a nice added touch with this film. And you know along the way, before the fall of Malone, he finds the journal and starts reading from it, and then he realized that it's his grandfather. who was one of the original six co-conspirators of Antonio Bay that killed the Blake and his crew, and that he must give he must give the gold back to Blake and his pirates. But you know, that's before he finds the gold. You know, it was buried within the church all along. They didn't even know it. But they just realized like a lot of weird shit was going on. You know, people dying within the community, and they start putting the little pieces together that some strange shit is going on. There's a fog rolling in. You know, people that see are getting killed. What's going on? So they tie those events to the book. And you know, I'm not gonna give everything away. 'Cause, I mean, there's people that haven't seen this film even now, so I'm not gonna give everything away. But when he finds the gold, you know, then while this weird stuff going on, and the fog rolls in, and Blake and his crew starts terrorizing the town, then Fallen Malone finds the gold, and you gotta see it. Definitely a great film. I definitely love this film. I think it's underrated. Um, it's definitely not too big on gore. I know he had to do some reshoots for the film because they did the film on a budget of like $1 million, and then he saw the first cut. He didn't like it. You know, he said it was terrible. So he went back and did some reshoots, and then you know they added some more gore. They added the first scene of the film when you have this drunken sailor guy on the beach telling ghost stories to these kids about what happened on that night when Blake and his crew got murdered. I think it was April 20th. And then like once the clock struck 12 midnight on April 21st, that was like their doom. That's like the curse started for Antonio Bay. And that part of the film, that beginning part, that was a reshoot, but that wasn't part of the original cut. They went back and shot that, added some more gory scenes, and the film did well. Did 21 million in the box office domestically. But I've always thought it was a great underrated horror film, a great simple ghost story. You had your drama, you had your gore. You know, there's some funny parts here and there, but a straight up, you know, nice horror ghost film, a nice campy, one of those campy horror films that people would like. And I definitely think it's a classic, a cult classic, especially now. I don't know how it was back then when it first came out, but I think it's a cult classic now. You know, it's definitely one of the best, one of my favorites of all time for sure. You know, the creepy scenes with like the ocean and the lighthouse where Stevie works at, and the roads. It's like the narrow roads in Antonio Bay. Those are like the creepy settings for the film. You know, what else? The music was good, real dark and creepy at times. You know, especially when the fog rolled into the town. I love the way that they did the music. It was real. If anything, the music is what got me when I first saw this film, like way back. You know, the music is what I remember first. You know, and it's I think it was done well, definitely. And um, John Carpenter, he was inspired to do this film by he was inspired by another movie called The Charlesburg Terror. Came out in 1958. It dealt with monsters hiding in the clouds. He was also inspired by taking a visit to Stonehenge with his writer and his co-writer and producer and then girlfriend Deborah Hill. While they were in England promoting the assault on Precinct 13, you know, him and Hill visited the site one day and they saw an eerie fog in the distance. And that's actually on the audio commentary for this. We talk about that. And he noted that the story of the deliberate wreckage of a ship was, where the subsequent, plundering was based on an actual event that took place in the 19th century near California. That was portrayed in the Tom Loughlin film, The Master Gunfighter. You know, and that's where he got his inspiration from for doing this film right here. And I think it's great film. I definitely love it. You know, if you haven't seen this, check it out. The original joint, not the reboot from '05. That was garbage. I remember seeing that. Did not like it. The special effects was cheesy. The acting was bad. The cast was bad. Hollywood, leave these films alone. When you're trying to do these classics over, they don't need to be done over. We don't need no sequel 30 years later. Leave these classics alone. This is definitely a classic in my opinion. And I think if you haven't seen it, check it out. That's really all I gotta say about it. Um, Definitely a 80s cult classic, a nice ghost tale with a good cast and acting and special effects. The little that was in the film was good. It was enough, not overdone. And yeah, check it out. One of my favorites of all time from Carpenter, John Carpenter. Check it out. Um, it's on Blu-ray, so definitely pick that up. I think it's on Screen Factory Steelbook. That was released like if it wasn't earlier this year, it was last year. So definitely get that. I got the standard one. I don't have the Blu-ray one yet, but I love just the way like the movie poster look with the green mist and all that. I like the way it looks. I'm definitely gonna keep this one. And I'm gonna be doing some more of these like between now and next week. So stay tuned for more horror discussions like this. It's your boy Try, Danny Rap. Peace.